Hi there. Welcome to Life Between Coasts, a podcast where we dive into our personal journeys connected through synchronicity. So grab your coffee, light a candle, and let's begin. I'm your host, Leah, and we're glad you're here. Today, we're sitting down with Krishna. Welcome. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you, Leah. Thanks for having me on your show.
Excellent. I'm very excited to learn about your journey. So let's begin. Tell me more.
As I said, I'm Krishna. I was born and raised in India. I moved to the US when I was 20 years old.
Okay.
So you can technically say US also. I was also raised in the US. I'm 31 now. And yeah, I'm very excited to be here. I've heard some of your podcasts. It was really refreshing to listen from your everyday people, regular people, like the person who you run into at the gym, or who's filling his car right next to you, or filling the gas in his car right next to you, or something like that. It was really refreshing to hear people's stories, and it felt
Oh,
very.
thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you. So now where in India did you grow up?
So I am from a city called Hyderabad. It's in the southern part of India. I did my bachelor's there,
Okay.
in the same city, and I was moving to the US. I feel like is w- is an aspiration that a lot of kids like me in India have. You know, we spend our time playing in the streets, and then there's almost every family has someone living overseas, and you hear stories from them. You see their you see people wearing branded clothes, which was not really a thing for us,
Okay.
or yeah, and we think, oh yeah, I want to be there one day. I want to see what it is, how it feels like, and I guess that's where it started. But also for better opportunities, right?
Mhm.
I We were always told that, oh yeah, there's a specific country there where you can kickstart your career, or you can do much more than you would do here.
Mhm.
So it's very those are the kind of aspirations that brought me here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now what is your career? What was your bachelor in?
Yeah, I did my bachelor's in electronics and communications engineering,
Okay.
and in my master's, I did electrical and computer engineering.
Okay.
And now I work at a company called DSpace. It's down in Wixom. I'm a senior applications engineer and also a project manager. We are an automotive supplier, so we work on simulators that are used for automotive testing.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been a great career arc.
Right.
I feel very privileged to be here in Michigan, and also to work for that in that field and that sort of a company. I feel like it's been a blessing.
Mhm. So now what was your journey like? So first 20 years,
Yeah,
you're in India
yeah,
and you're growing up. So of course your childhood, lots of careless energy of, playing. And you said playing in the streets,
yeah.
mostly. But what was it like? Describe it for us in a little bit of detail.
My childhood.
Yeah, just how big's your family? How many siblings?
So I have a sister. So we are a family of four, and a grandmother, two grandmothers. So both my grandmothers.
Mhm.
Um,
So multi-generational household,
yeah,
and
sort of.
kind of
Yeah, we moved around a little bit, but all of us lived in the same area.
pretty
So yeah, was very
similar
close.
to how it's here.
Yeah,
Most people stay close by.
exactly, just like that. So yeah, I'm very close with my grandparents. My grandfather has been a huge inspiration for me until he passed when I was in high school.
Mhm.
And yeah, he used to motivate me all the time, like, oh yeah, go play outside, or oh yeah, you gotta go to US one day, it's a dreamland there, or something like that. But he taught me English, my how to speak English, how to speak fluent, even though it's not my mother tongue. And it's been nice, I was always on the street playing. My dad was very mad at it. Yeah, it's you can see the patterns very similar, like all the kids, right?
Right.
You have friends in your area, you're playing, you go to school, you come back, you wait for your holidays, you do something for your holidays. We were very middle class.
Mhm.
My dad was a government employee for the state government back in our state, and yeah, just very plain. Um, you can only eat out specific days of the year, or you can only buy new clothes for specific things like a birthday or a couple of festivals, maybe.
Right.
Um, so yeah, and then you had uh, yeah, school teachers, and then my bachelor's was great. That's one of the best periods of my life. Teaches you a lot, you're entering adolescence, and yeah, uh, I went to a great school for my bachelor's.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, really, I feel privileged to have the childhood that I had.
Now, you said your grandfather taught you English. How did he teach you English? What was the manner used? What did you watch? Was it internet based where you're able
No,
to watch videos or
internet was not a thing when I was growing up.
Okay.
Internet was not really a thing until I was in my bachelor's.
Okay.
So before that, no Instagram, no Facebook, nothing. Like I
Right.
didn't even have a phone until like I was 15, 16 years old.
Okay.
He taught me from my textbooks. So
Mm.
he um he knew everything, he knew about Shakespeare, all that, whatever.
How did
Like,
he learn English?
well, he was also a very big government employee, and so was my dad. They most of the people in India are um so my grandfather, he he grew up just when the British rule in India was ending. So learning English was like the main thing there, because that generation grew up looking at colonialization and thinking, oh yeah, because they they made they felt so much, uh how do you say it, they looked up to the English culture so much that it was a mandatory thing for them to learn English,
Okay.
and most of the government work gets done in English. So
Okay.
most of the people in India, on some level, they do speak English. So does my dad. He also is a good English speaker, and
Mhm.
yeah,
Okay.
that's how.
So he ensured just by using your textbooks and
Yep.
helping translate or use
Or when we are saying something in English, he would correct me like, "This is not how it's said. This is how it's said."
Okay.
He taught me about active voice, passive voice. I can still remember those. Yeah, I remember when I was in my 10th grade, I won I won an essay writing competition. Yeah, he was very proud.
No, I know the influence of grandparents is
Yep,
great. My mother's mother lived with us,
yep,
for a brief period of time,
yeah,
and during that period of time, she'd got me, and I still have it, my set of, it was a Webster's Dictionary,
yeah,
thesaurus, and a synonym and antonym book, and,
yeah,
so I was probably 9,
yeah,
10 years old, and, I still have that set, but I remember, anytime that I asked my mother or my grandmother how to spell a word or how to, what something is, how do you spell? The answer was, where's your dictionary
yeah,
or where's your thesaurus? And so I would read the unabridged dictionary with my grandmother as well,
yeah.
but play a lot of word games. And she helped me, especially like with the spelling bee and everything else. So
Wow.
the influence of grandparents is a great thing.
It's definitely a very special bond that you have with your grandparents, right? Um, like they always want to spoil you, buy you stuff, or yeah,
No,
it's
I know that.
special.
It was always lovely. Now, one of the things that you said is that there's, like, a want to leave India, to leave the country and come here. What's the drive? Is it,
Um,
you said a large majority of people.
yeah. So I feel like I can't speak for everyone who migrates from India.
Right,
Uh, I can maybe certainly speak for people like me, who left their country for higher education.
right.
Um, there's a lot of factors. So back then, when I was growing up, around post 2010 era, between 2010 to 15, or just around that period,
Right.
um, it was definitely much more possible for you to get a better career in terms of uh, like what do you want to do? What are you passionate about? You if you don't want to sacrifice your passion, or if you want to do something that you were educated on,
Mhm.
I think it was the it was I don't want to say it's an easier way, but it was definitely a possible way.
Mhm.
And I feel like that drove a lot of people. I don't want to say out of the country because technically we never leave, but it's a very interesting question that you asked me, and I myself I'm thinking for the answer. But for me, it was like I saw a lot of people in my family come here and have a and build a very good life for themselves. I kept thinking myself, I want that kind of life. I want that kind of a career or that kind of a structure in my life,
Right.
which is what I feel like pretty much everyone wants in their life. It doesn't matter where they're from or what they're doing. Every person in the end, I think that's a very common point on it doesn't matter if you're leaving the country, staying in the country, but all you want is a good structured life.
Right. Right. No, and I appreciate that. Now, so when you came, you spent, you're in your 20s.
Right.
So, of course, I've always joked and said that the 20s are always the messy part
Yeah,
of anyone's life because you're really trying to figure it out. But now you're trying to figure it out in a different country.
yeah,
What did you go through?
yeah.
How was that adjustment for you?
It's still it's still a very um I don't want to say haunting, but it's a tough learning phase for me.
Uh-huh.
I landed in a totally new country. I've never left the country before I left for the US.
Okay.
That was the my first flight I took to come to the US was the second time ever I was on a flight.
Okay.
I wasn't ever I was ever on an airplane.
Okay.
And when I landed, I we landed like late in the night in Indianapolis. We got a hotel, and the next morning when I woke up, I walked out of the hotel. It was s- entirely new.
Right.
Like you have no idea what the hell are you doing. Like, I thought, what is this? What am I doing here? And then that morning we had an apartment signing. So we went to the apartment, we signed the lease, we got the keys, and then that's it. We walked into uh, an empty apartment.
Right.
And then that day, I remember we also did not even get our suitcases yet
Okay.
because of some delay.
Delay.
So
So they lost your luggage. You're in another apartment that's
yeah,
now your new home.
to me and two other friends, we just walked in, and that's it. That's our life from there.
Oh.
From there, and yeah, it was definitely very teaching, challenging. Like you go to a new school, and the very different kind of education that you're not used to. The method of teachings are different, and now you're working with these highly accomplished professors. And first semester was very very challenging for me. I got very low grades.
Mhm.
Because I took some time for me to get adjusted. And
Okay.
the day I got my results for my first semester, I was sitting alone on in my apartment, like outside my apartment on stairs, and I was like, "What did I do? Like, what am I doing? What is this? Like, am I even fit to be here?" Or I had so many questions that I asked that day, and I spoke to my dad that day,
Mhm.
and he was like, "It's fine. It's your first semester. It's okay. Relax." And it's a very funny thing, and I graduated with the bare minimum GPA. But it was definitely challenging. I used to work part time at the parking services at our university. So we were just those people driving around golf carts or parking garages in universities and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I was that, like when someone calls me on a walkie saying, "Hey, some parking gate is blocked. Go here." So
Right.
I used to do that. Um, yeah. So
So,
it doesn't matter if we used to go at chilly winter mornings at 5 a.m. We had a shift. Uh, you have to go,
yes.
or something like that.
Right.
It was-
And so you said now the first semester or the whole experience, so the graduation was the lower GPA
Yeah, because of the first semester
because of
GPA,
the fact.
the entire yeah, I was able to pick it up from the second semester. Like
Right.
I had friends, I had good help.
Right.
Uh, but it's definitely new because you're not with your family anymore, right? I never lived. never lived with friends, or like, never had to. I
Right.
always stayed at home.
Right.
And then you're in a new country living with like a bunch of other people who you don't.
Might not have any skills to do anything similar to you or shared skills or vice versa.
Yeah.
Whether they're cook, clean, anything like that,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And it was definitely uh you hit rocky points even with the friends that you thought
Mhm.
for very long, right? The friends you've been friends with for like years,
Right.
and then you start living with them. They are like these new people.
Yes.
So it was definitely yeah, it's not easy. Immigration itself, it teaches you a lot. And I know living anywhere is a challenge. And also living in the US is also a challenge. There's also a lot of paperwork that goes with it. You have to do a lot of steps in the right exact way, in a very specific manner, in a very specific under very specific deadlines. And you miss one, then you're out of
Right.
status or whatever, right? So you have to be very careful there.
Right.
But it's definitely teachable. Like, it teaches you how you grow as a human being.
Mhm. Do you think anything that you did in the first 20 years in India and anything that your parents did or your grandfather did, helped you to persevere through from that first semester through graduation? Is there anything that they instilled in you?
uh Funny you mentioned it. I was very spoiled. Didn't lift a finger at home. Huh, I didn't have to, like, no one makes their kids do house chores, right?
Right.
Yes. But you come here and you're doing all. I i didn't cook back in India.
Right.
But I used to like, I used to be on a video call with my mom or someone while I'm cooking something. Hey,
How do I
you have
do
to
that?
do this. You have to, or but the one thing that my family taught me was being grateful to God. I feel like no matter what, my dad never skips a prayer every single day, 2 times a day, almost every day. One thing that I really learned was being grateful to what you have. And uh, I don't want to dwell too much into religion topics, but I feel like being grateful to God is one of the things that I've learned. And yeah,
It is. It it took me it not it didn't take me a while to get to that point because I've always been grateful, but it was the trusting, and it's like if you take things, and getting back to that balance, and then now it's knowing that there's a reason for everything.
yeah,
There's a
yep,
purpose for all of us, and we might not know it, but everything that happens is truly for a reason. And no matter how cliche that sounds,
yep,
but it's everything is a lesson. So you have to look at it as being a lesson. It's not a sacrifice of your time or a loss of time. It's you had to go through that lesson
yeah,
because there was something that you needed to take away from that.
yes, definitely, 100%. And if through these 10 years that I've been here, um, I there was a kind of like arc in my life and as a career that I could have never dreamt of.
Mhm.
Uh, I have a deep respect for this country. I love this country because it yes, it was challenging to live and study and work here, but also you can make a good life here. And like, yes, it took me 10 months after I graduated to find a job.
Okay.
Um, but when I found one, it was easy for you to learn because you're in a technically advanced environment, right?
That changes frequently.
Yeah, exactly. And especially the automotive industry
Yeah.
is always growing.
Right.
So it teaches you, it makes you a better person, like as an engineer, because I'm an engineer, but not just as an engineer, but like you get a lot of new perspective. And uh, yeah, my career arc definitely, I never dreamt of having such a career arc, um, if not for the US.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And now what part of your career do you like the most?
Um, so the one is what I got to learn.
Mhm.
and then implement. I get to solve challenges, complex technical challenges. I really love that part.
Okay.
I don't think I can ever give that up. When someone comes to me with a technical question or like saying, "Oh, hey, can you make this work for me?" Love those kind of challenges, and I get those kind of opportunities every day at my work, and I really enjoy those. I get to talk to a lot of customers because we are a supplier.
Right.
So, and Michigan is the automotive hub. So, and then when a customer asks me a question, and when I'm able to answer it, it makes me happy
Mhm.
because I didn't know this answer a few years ago.
Right.
When if I were to walk into that particular meeting a few years ago, I would be dumbstruck.
Mhm.
But now I'm able to answer it. So that's what drives me, I guess.
I know there's days that, believe me, even in the tax office, I'll say, there's days that I'll say something and I'll stop for a second and think, "Whoa, you sounded like you actually knew what you were talking about."
Exactly. Absolutely.
Somehow. And usually we do, but it's just like, or most of the time we do. But like I said, if there's like a new topic or a new something and you reverse engineer it, really it's taking that puzzle and saying, okay, if this works to this point
Yep.
and this needs to work to
Yep.
this, how do we get those two to do?
Yeah.
And and that works in a lot of different industries, but
Yeah.
it's overcoming an obstacle, and that's something that's not necessarily a learned thing.
Yep.
And I think it's a lost art in a lot of the younger people. So your age, younger, don't necessarily have that obstacle
Yeah.
jumping ability. So how do you think you were able to be gifted?
Problem solving ability. Again, I've always been interested in I just I loved hardware, right? I used to open up my toys when I was a kid, see what's inside. I used to take the motors out, play with them. I always had that curiosity in me. Hey, how does this
That's my
work?
dad. Yeah,
Right?
my grandmother would bring home a toaster and he'd take it apart,
Yeah,
put it back
right.
together.
Just yeah, when something breaks, even at our home right now, when something breaks, my wife says, "Hey, throw it away." I said, "No way.
But wait,
Maybe I can
I
fix
am like that or too. The mechanical ability is an amazing thing. Not everybody has it, but if you can figure out how something works,
the one very funny thing happened. So I had a collection of watches.
uh
All of them ran out of batteries,
various states of working.
straps worn out,
Right.
whatever. I kept all my old watches. And the other day I was like, why don't I fix my watches? And I ordered a bunch of tools, batteries, straps, and then I was working on this one watch. And then I had to take out one tiny, tiny screw.
Right.
Like you can't even see if I hold it in my hand, you can't even probably see it from there.
Right.
And then the challenge, I had to put it back. Taking out, it's
Mm.
okay. But putting it back,
Yeah, because then you can tip it over to take
yeah,
it out and things like
exactly.
that. You can't do that putting it back.
Uh, the satisfaction I got after I put the screw back,
Yes.
it's immense. Those are the kind of stuff that tiny things, right?
Yes.
Makes you really happy.
Yes. But
And
then you feel accomplished.
yeah,
You're like,
right?
I did it. Yes.
Exactly.
So that's a way that I really like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now, so I see a ring. So you're married,
Yep.
and lovely wife. Any plans for children or
Um,
work more in career for a while and then
uh,
do that, or what's
very interesting question you asked. We ourselves keep asking the same question to ourselves. Uh, we are definitely in a spot right now. Like, we, both of us, my wife graduated 23 in 23. She got a job. She's kind of stabilizing in her career. I'm stabilizing in my career. Both of us have good jobs. We have a home. We bought a home recently. And yeah, then we keep thinking, what next?
right?
A lot of people ask us the same question,
Mhm.
but then we also ask ourselves, are we stable enough?
Mhm.
You know, that's one question that keeps coming back to us. It's very uncertain that even today, even though we have a good jobs and we good base, we have a home, our visa situation is kind of like not stable enough. I have to renew my visa every 3 years, and then
Mhm.
it's like and then every 3 years you got to travel out of the country to get a new stamp. So it makes travel complicated.
Yep.
Um, and then yeah, you you never know. Like I had to stop working recently a month because of the shutdown, and so these are kind of things that make us question, like, are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
It's not about where we are personally, but in terms of like where we are logistically.
Yes. So
Uh,
it's the physical location.
yeah,
So let's talk about that. So let's talk about how immigration works because, there's a lot you let's talk about your personal experience going
yeah,
through immigration because there's a lot that people don't know or
yeah,
understand. I don't fully understand. I mean, people ask me questions and I'll say, you need to go to an immigration attorney because I don't, just because, again, authority, you do taxes. So they figure that you know everything else about every
right.
other department, and I don't. So explain from your
Uh,
perspective.
Immigration is very complicated.
Hmm.
Um, it's it's a part of every major decision we make. I'm not saying I'm not happy at all here. I'm very happy with my life here, with what I gained in this country, and I traveled a lot in this country. I've been to like over 30 states. I love staying here, living here, working here. I made great friends here. But immigration is that one topic that's very complicated for us. It's the center of every decision we make. Oh, you wanna travel home to see your parents? Oh, let me check my visa, or let me check if there's appointments in the at the U.S. Embassy in India that we can go and.
Right.
It's multiple step process. So
Hmm.
every step along the way, there's a totally new thing that comes up.
Right.
First, you come here on a student visa, um, and then uh, and then after you graduate, you get like 3 years
Hmm.
of work permit, kind of like work permit where you can work in a
Right.
professional environment. If you want to continue living here, the company that you're working for needs to sponsor your visa,
Okay.
work visa, H-1B they call it.
Right.
Um, and then uh, and then you can renew it 2 times. So each visa comes for 3 years. So you can renew it 1 time. So that means it gives you 6 years time period.
Right.
So that visa is maximum valid for 6 years. Um, if you want to continue working, staying, living here beyond that, again, the company that you work for has to sponsor your green card. Um, and then once that is like a 2 year process, and then once that is, I don't want to say approved because you don't get a green card right away. The wait list for a green card is based on the country you were born in.
Hmm.
Um, so once you're officially on the wait list for a green card, then you can keep extending your visa every 3 years.
Okay.
So there you fall into this infinite loop where every 3 years visa renewal, visa renewal, visa renewal. So it's definitely not easy because uh, you cannot plan your life accordingly, because then it becomes a major part of every decision you make.
Right.
Uh, okay, you want to go home, or um, uh, it was a decision to when am I supposed to get married, or
Right.
yeah, I know a few people who couldn't because of the COVID restrictions, or
Hmm.
um, whatever, right? I know people who couldn't see their family for years,
Right.
couldn't meet their parents for years. I haven't met my parents in so long. I don't know when I'm gonna meet them again.
Hmm.
Um, it's definitely
And not to cut you off, but that's something that I think that is not necessarily recognized, that
no.
you leave your family behind
Yeah.
and you don't know when, and there's times, depending on, again, on the country, so for instance, there's many people that have left different countries that don't have the opportunity to ever go back. Once they
Yeah.
leave, they're done. And, and there's a lot of people that don't quite understand that.
Yes,
So,
for sure. So immigration, like, if either it doesn't matter what you're going for, right? Are you if you're leaving, it doesn't matter if you're going to a different country for a better career,
right.
or if you're escaping something like climate or political. They all want the same thing, right? They just want a stable life.
Yes.
That's what
Safe
one wants.
stability.
Yes, and But again, it gives you a good life, but it also comes with its own set of challenges. Like till this date, my mom, I talk to my mom
Okay.
every day for the past 10 years,
Yes.
every day. Um, she just wants to ask, "Did you eat? What did you do?
Yes.
What's for food?
Yeah.
Are you going to work?" That's it. That's a very like a 5 minute conversation, but kind of like puts you in perspective. Like this is hard. Like you after a while, it gets hard, and then the rules also keep changing every very frequently.
Mhm.
So it's hard to keep track of. And then yeah.
So now you are still then on an H-1B, but third cycle, so you're just on a waiting list at this
Yeah,
point?
I'm on a waiting list for the green card, but the wait list for Indian-born citizens is an insane amount of time.
Okay.
I don't even know at this point what it is. Right now, I think they're processing green cards from people who applied in 2012, if I'm not wrong.
Wow.
So,
I didn't realize that they were that far behind.
yeah, there's different categories of it. So
Okay.
based on your education level, your working level, what you're doing in your career, and there's different levels for it.
Okay.
Um, I fall in the second category
Okay.
for people who did their masters, who had a master's education, and yeah.
So wow, okay.
So I
Now,
then
when's the last time you saw your family or
um
mom and dad?
for a very brief period, I went home for like 10 days in May last year, but that was for like a very different reason. I was not for a visiting purpose. It was something different, personal. But uh, really, when I saw them was December 23. I went there for my sister's wedding, so it's a little over a month.
Mhm.
Yeah, you have to plan a lot to go visit.
Right.
Um, you have to check your visas, you have to check your vacation times.
Mhm.
Um, for a lot of people with the kids, they have to check their school schedules, and
Right.
yeah, so
There's a lot to balance.
it's
Oh, and I could understand and not to be so abrupt when I asked you the question like, "So, when you're gonna have kids?" Because that would be the next logical step.
yeah,
Sometimes it's in the cards, sometimes it's not,
yeah,
and that's okay, the but I understand, because you might be financially sound, have the house, have everything that you need to be able to do that,
yeah,
but your uncertainty
yeah,
is hard because every yeah, you have to jump through a lot of hoops just
yeah.
to
Not just me, but even my employer.
right,
I have a great employer who supports me in everything.
right,
They never delay, or they have great immigration attorneys and who take care of us very well.
right.
But even then, it's not easy for them as well.
Right.
Yeah,
No, and it does take commitment because there's, you know, not only is it you being employed, doing your job effectively, and to the benefit of your employer, but there's a little bit of the loyalty factor from your employer when they come to sponsor because it's not just free. I mean,
yeah,
there is money that's attached to it that they have to pay.
yeah,
And so it does cost companies quite a bit of money to do these things as well.
yeah, and it definitely doesn't make it easier with all the changing rules every now and then.
It's like the new cell phones every other year or something like that. That's how but the rules probably changed government still is a little bit glacially slow, but so it's not as fast by the time they take effect, but there are quite a few changes, and that gets scary too.
It is. It's definitely, but again, um, between all of that, we kind of like tend to just go with the flow, right? I try to stay optimistic. I try to stay look at positive things in life. Like me and my wife, we travel quite a bit, even within the country.
And you said that, and I thought that was great. You said that you've been to about 30 states?
Yeah, I traveled a lot when I was a student because you only have classes from Monday to Thursday, right?
Right.
So
So you take long weekends.
yeah, we had practically every week.
But I gotta tell you, you probably have seen I've been to quite a few myself. I gotta say it's like I wanna say it's 42 or 43 that I've been
Yeah,
to, but, what's fun is that uh, you probably have been to more states than the average American. Honestly, just because there's a lot of people that don't leave their own state. They don't necessarily have one, the means or the need or the want. They might dream about, I have pictures on the wall in there, of
Yep, yep.
of some of the different national parks and things like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, well, where's that one? Or I've been there, or I want to go there,
Yeah.
and so.
Even traveling, I feel like I was very passionate about. I'm still am. I'm
Yeah.
very passionate about traveling. I feel like traveling teaches you a lot.
Hmm.
You get to see a lot more than what you would normally see in your own city.
Hmm.
Um, you get to see how other people live.
Yeah.
You get to see how other people behave,
Hmm.
talk. That for me is, and also you get to see a new place. I think the rush that you get from being a new place, I feel that's unparalleled.
Yeah.
Me and my wife, we love traveling. Uh, we always are looking for where to go next, or yeah, where do we want to go next? We were in Paris last year. Yeah, it was one of the best experiences I ever had. I spent 3 months there for a work trip. My wife was there for 2 weeks, and yeah, those are the two best weeks we spent together, and those are the best 3 months I spent by myself.
Hmm.
It's such a major learning experience, both professionally and personally, for me, that um, I still miss it. Like, that part of me. When I left that apartment that I stayed in, the Airbnb, I left a little letter in there, for maybe the next person to find. I don't know. We'll see. So we'll never know, I guess. But yeah, when you go, I traveled to Germany for my company's headquarters is in Germany.
Right.
Um, yeah, you land in Frankfurt, and then you take two trains for like 4 hours away, and then you get to see all these towns pass by, and it totally in rural Germany, right? Who Yeah, it's surreal, that
Yeah.
kind of feeling. I love that feeling.
Yes. Now, for all of your travel throughout the states here, what outside of Michigan, what was your favorite
Um,
state or thing that you saw or event?
the best thing that I ever saw was the night sky in Acadia National Park, Maine.
Ah,
Oh, like
isn't it? I gotta tell you, I'm an East Coast girl at heart.
yeah,
Somewhere it's in my blood. I don't know why, but I was
me
up
too.
there myself. And that isn't that just absolutely, it's just the rugged, like the rocks and the
It,
pines and the way that the ocean, it's just amazing.
there's a point in Acadia National Park called Shooting Point, if I'm not wrong.
Mhm.
It's just rock cliffs
Yeah.
by a beach.
Yeah.
So you lie down on the rock,
Mhm.
and then there's ocean right by your feet, and then in the sky it's the best night sky you've ever seen. You can see that, and the Milky Way cloud, millions of stars, and it's just
And then you feel such like a speck
right.
of dust at the end of the
Makes
day.
you makes you feel like I'm so tiny.
Yes.
All my problems are so tiny,
Yes.
right? All this struggle you're going through is so tiny, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
And that, yes, and in the actual realm of things,
yeah.
it's well, you can get through anything. You can overcome anything. You just have to have a little bit of trust and belief in yourself, and that'll push you. And then, of course, mom on the phone to tell you how to cook. That always helps too, right?
And yeah, that and I feel like US is very unique because of the different kinds of landscapes it has, right?
Yes.
You can go to a desert, you can go to a canyon, you can go to a mountain like 14,000 feet high, or you can see great waterfalls. You can hike in the best places on the planet Earth, and you can see all sorts of animals like right there. For me, I think that's the best part of the US.
Yeah.
There's so many uh, different landscapes that you can go to.
Mhm.
So each trip becomes a very unique thing that you are doing.
Yes.
If you want to go to a beach, sure. If you want to go gamble somewhere, sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and that is, I think, one of the nice things about the country as well is just that there is not just in people, but just in the regions, you get a little bit of everything, but, like you said, you fly into Frankfurt and you take a train for 4 hours to go wherever, but, you could cross into another country in a very short bit of
Yeah.
time throughout Europe, and here, you have the whole country, and one country there is
Yeah.
basically one state, or could fit into, multiple of their countries could fit into Texas or something like that.
Exactly.
But just the personalities then of the people and the dialects that you learn,
Yeah.
because you learn a perfect English and then you come in and then you get the Southern drawl, or the Boston accent, or the Maine, or when you're in Maine, they get the Bahaba.
Yeah.
And you try to understand what they're saying.
There's always new, like, when you meet new people, like
Yeah.
trips, travels. Um, uh, we were uh, we were in North Carolina one time, just student, a group of 25 people.
Wow.
Uh, yeah, back then it's just easy. Get a rental car and go. We used to get rental cars for like $30 a day.
Absolutely.
So
Unlimited mileage. Go.
yeah, exactly. So and you're just eating at Taco Bells and McDonald's and stuff. So it's super cheap,
Oh, yeah.
right? And then we camped with this. I really don't remember the name of the area we went, but we camped with this family,
Mm-hmm.
this American family who just they have a huge cabin and some cottages around by.
Okay.
And then there's a big mountain right behind their home. It's a private access mountain, and
Right.
they just welcome people for no charge.
Wow.
They just let you stay there.
Okay.
And then they say, yeah, just give whatever you want. It's not an Airbnb. They're not listed anywhere.
Okay.
Some person in my college found out about them, and then we just went there, and then we had the time of our lives. No phone signal, nothing. You're camping, but
And sometimes it's the best. No phone signal. Even working in a technical field, it's nice not to have a phone signal once in a while.
so yeah, it's one of the best things. I don't know. I don't know. I can see that in many places around the world, but something like that, I feel like it's a very unique experience. You are in the middle of mountains, absolutely nowhere,
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of nowhere, and then you're driving in this dark uh, mud road, and then you see.
And hoping Bigfoot doesn't come running up.
Yeah, so it's a very, very unique experience, and as an immigrant, I feel like um, it's very different because all of trips when I was in India included pilgrimages. So
Yes. Well, right. Because a lot of it's religious based, or
we were like we were very middle class, so we did go to places from time to time, but
right.
but most of our trips were like once every other year or something like that.
Right. Well, especially because if there's just not the extra means to do it,
Yeah,
I mean, that's why a lot of people don't travel. I mean, I don't remember taking annual trips other than drives up north,
Yep.
staying within the state. My travels throughout the country were as a result of my best friend growing up. Her family, well, my parents and her parents were best friends in high school. We were born a couple months apart and basically raised like sisters. And but her dad, her parents bought a motor home.
Yeah.
And so he worked for one of the big three.
Yeah.
And so during like a changeover, he'd couple like his, whatever they took off, added with
Yeah.
some vacation time, and then we'd hit the road in the motor home.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah. It's
we
traveling.
experienced a lot.
It's very very so that's what so that's why for an immigrant like me, when I came here and then I saw all these opportunities to travel, just some places that I never dreamt that I would be there one day.
Right.
Like, if I go back and tell like a 15-year-old self that, oh, hey, you're gonna spend 3 months in Paris one day, or
Right.
you're gonna camp in this beautiful cabin in the middle of nowhere in North Carolina,
Right.
or yeah, you would be driving it on top of a 14,000 feet mountain in Colorado,
Right.
or even like I would be standing in the middle of Times Square in New York. I wouldn't have believed it.
Mhm.
So for a lot of people like me, those are very exciting experiences, and that's what I feel like this country gave us, like the ability to see the world.
Yes.
That's very powerful. I feel it makes you a different human being. Traveling definitely, I feel like makes you a totally new person.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's a good note to
Yeah.
kind of shift over to our final question of the show,
Oh yeah.
which is, Krishna, what is your personal anthem? What's the song that speaks to you?
For me, I grew up listening to a lot of Linkin Park.
Okay.
I know
I wouldn't have guessed that, but okay.
a lot of kids these days don't even know Linkin Park.
Right.
Like I speak to one of my Gen Z cousins and they're like, "What is Linkin Park?" So Yeah, especially the song "In the End."
Okay.
I feel like that has a brilliant message in it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's I listen to a lot of Indian classical music too.
Yes.
That all a lot of that touches me. But in the end, is something that I really
Yeah.
cherish.
I'm hearing all the lyrics in my brain right
Yeah,
now. So
right.
yeah, nothing really matters.
Yeah, nothing. In the end, it doesn't even matter.
It doesn't even matter, yes. But you're right. But and the things that do matter are the things that we need to practice, which are what I always say are the kindness and the please and thank you and just giving grace to our fellow humans
Yep.
and just being better, and being the better person. Not the bigger person, but the better person. Like if somebody's coming at you and instead of reacting back, just respond back and be gentle
Yep.
because you never know what they're going through and we can find balance.
On the same note, I wanted to conclude with something. Like
Yes.
it doesn't matter um, where a person is from or what their religious background is, what their uh, political agenda or political views are. It doesn't really matter what what they're thinking inside or what their views on the world are. Everyone in the end, they are just trying to they all want the same thing, right? Everyone has their own struggle, they're going through their own struggle, and everyone wants the same thing in their life, that I want a better life for myself, for my partner, my other half, and our offsprings.
Yes.
What can we do to make sure that they are not going through the same struggle that I am going through?
Right.
My parents and my wife parents did the same for us, and
Right.
in the end, we also want to do the same for ourselves and the offsprings, right? So,
Yeah.
I think when you cut out all the noise and all the um,
The BS,
yeah,
let's say.
all that, in the end, it's all. I feel like humanity is still there.
Yes.
I know,
It just needs some more light
yeah,
just shown
exactly.
upon it
It's
just to
where
highlight
like
it.
you come in.
Yes, that's exactly. I'm here. Listen, that's what I keep saying. I'm trying to save humanity, right? But that's well, and it's one story at a time. It's your story and Mari's story and Wyatt's story, and it's everybody all together. We're all human in the end.
Yeah, exactly.
And let us, work together to be better humans because that's what the important part is.
Something I realized, be it one of my technician colleagues in France, or be it one of the senior most engineers from our headquarters in Germany, when you talk to them, or it doesn't matter who they really are, when you talk to them, you realize that person is just like me.
Mhm.
In the end, they want the same thing like I do. No one wants what they don't want.
Right.
I think that's something that I wanted to say today.
Yes. Well,
Mm,
thank you.
Of course, yeah.
Thank you for that. And thank you again for joining us on this week's episode of Life Between Coasts. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to grow our community of listeners. We'd like to thank Krishna again for joining us. And we hope you have a great week. And until then, bye bye.